So let's proceed to discuss and explain the social context and between modern and contemporary arts. Contemporary art was also derived by ideas and theories and even the blurring of notion of what is and can be considered as art, with the involvement of television, photography, cinema, digital technology, performance, and even objects of the everyday. So, in a social context, uh, yung contemporary art ay talagang remove siya by ideas and theories, and even in the flooring of nation, what ay maaari din siyang i-considered na art. So, may kinalaman din ito yung television, photography, cinema, digital, performance, and even object of the everyday. Several contemporary art movement. Abstract Expressionism, early 1940s to wide 1960s, took the basic tenets of abstraction and combined with it with gestural techniques, mark making, and aroused spontaneity and this visual articulation. So, in the abstract expressionism, no, when we say spontaneity as the generalize the artwork, no, and as you can say in the screen, no, makikita mo dito yung mga individuals artists that has conviction to the abstract expressionism. So we have Sena Clifford Steele, Jackson Pollock, William Dick Downing, Bennett Newman, and si Mark Rothko. So there are two major styles. First is action paintings and also color fields. So let's talk about first action paintings. Understood the process of creation in that it showed the physicality, directions, and most often the spontaneity of the action that made the drapes and stroke possible. So, ibig sabihin ng action painting is a style of abstract expressionism na kung saan yung way ng paggawa niya ng paintings is tinatapon or binubuhos lang sa canvas. So, ibig sabihin that engage more of body that traditional easels paintings. So, second is colored fields. So, when we say color fields, emphasize the emotional power of colors from the vivid demarcation to the more toned down transition. This band of color were skinned to the effect of landscape. So, ibig sabihin, color fields painting is a style of abstract painting so now in which is emerged in New York during the 1940s to 1960s. So, ibig sabihin, when we say color field paintings, so ibig sabihin is yung mga artist is the genre nila is to pursue simple fields composition or nakapokus lang sila doon sa impression ng color. So, contemporary art, we can observe that there were overlaps with the acceptance in practice of these movements. They were not only overlapping with each other, but they were embedded in a social order that was in a fact somewhat disordered. So, one of the main developments during this time was the turn from the traditional notion of what art is, from paintings and sculptures to be more experimental formats. This includes film, photography, video, performance, installation, inside specific work, and artwork. Even this format tended to overlap, leading to interesting and dynamic and otherwise unheard of combination of concepts, subject, materials, techniques, and methods of creation, experience, and even analysis compared to other period, it can be argued that contemporary art is the most socially aware and involved form of art. The subject matter of these works was one of the most pressing, hated, and even controversial issues of contemporary society. So, contemporary art ay isa itong pangunahing na pag-unlad sa panahong ito ay ang pagliko mula sa tradisyonal ng mga idea, kung ano ang mga sining mula sa mga pagpipinta at iskultura hanggang sa mas pang-experimentary niya format, kabilang dito ang pelikula, videography, video performance at mga gawang particular sa site. Kahit na ang mga format na ito ay may posibilidad na mag-overlaps na humahantong sa kawili-wili at dinamiko, at kung hindi man ay hindi marinig ng mga kombinasyon ng mga konsepto, paksa, materialis at iba pa. So, thank you everyone, and I am Ina Nicor Ventura, the second reporter for Chapter 9 about gulf in between modern and contemporary arts.
I'm Kimberly Rose Mentoy, and this is my part topic in our video presentation report. Let's proceed to the other contemporary art movement. First is photorealism, next is conceptualism, performance art, installation art, and earth art. Let's proceed to photorealism. Photorealism. Photorealism is the resurgence of figure art, where realistic depiction is a choice. It's a proof of buried and fragmented postmodernism is in photorealism. A painstaking attention to the detail is aimed without asserting an artist's personal style. This drawing and painting are so immaculate in their precision that it starts to look like a photorealism. A photo without a direct reference to the artists who created it. A two known photorealism artists are Chunk Close and Gerald Mitcher. Conceptualism. Were informed and shaped by a pop art such as conceptualism. Conceptualism fought against the idea that art is a commodity. This movement also brought to the fore issues brought by the arts institutions such as museums and galleries, where works and pedals are circulated. Some of the major conceptualism artists are Jenny Holzer, Damien Hirst, and Ai Weiwei. Performance art is related to conceptual art, who rosters of well-known artists, Ono and Joseph Beuys. As a movement, it began in the 1960s, and instead of being concerned with entertaining its audience. Installation art. Compared to traditional art formats, installation art is a kind of an immersive work where the environment or the space is which the viewer steps into and interacts with going around. Installative art is transformed or altered. Usually, large-scale installations art makes us of a host of objects, materials, conditions, and even light and aural components. Earth art, sometimes considered as a kind or a spin-off installations art. Earth art or land art is when the nature environment or a specific site of space is transformed by artists. It is a kind of human interventions into a specific landscape or terrain. Earth art is different from environmental art in the sense that it doesn't not focus on the subjects, environmental issues but rather on landscape manipulations and the materials used taken directly from the ground or vegetations, rock or twigs. Artists known for earth art are Robert Simpson, Christo Richard Long, Andy Glonsworthy, and Jean Claude. And the last but not the least, street art. This art movement is related to graffiti art as it is a by-project of the rise of graffiti in the 1980s. Artwork created are not traditional in format but are informed by the illustrative, painterly, and print techniques and even a variety of media. Even video projections. Some of the examples of this include murals, stencils, images, stickers, and illustrations, or illustrative sculptural objects usually out of common objects. Since these works are most commonly found in the public sphere, various people who have access to them have formed the impression and perception of the artwork.